Hi everyone, and welcome back to another one of our virtual holiday shows. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos for more amazing presentations. Today I'm joined by Moira from Azamara Cruises. I'll shortly hand you over to Moira, but first I'd like to tell you a little bit about Lincolnshire Co-op Travel. So we are, I'm sure some of you already know, we're a successful local business. We've been trading for over 150 years. We're not owned by a tour operator, so we are 100% independent, which means we're able to offer the right holiday for you, whether it be a cruise around Europe or something a little bit different. We're always there for you. We also support local charities, so that means when you shop with us, we give back to the local community. And finally, before I hand over to Moira, you'll be able to see a list of your local branches on the screen. So if you've got any questions or queries, please contact your local branch. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Moira, but just to let you know, we do have a quick Q&A session at the end, and there's also a chance to win a £50 voucher. So over to you, Moira.
Hello, nice to see you, Paul. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Nice to see you again.
Yes, and you. It's great to be here. Thank you so much. So yes, I'm here to tell you all about the wonderful Azamara. And what is really interesting about us is, like Lincolnshire Co-op, we are also fully independent. We're one of the very few independent cruise lines left in the world. And it's really exciting for us, actually, because we used to be part of a much bigger cruise line corporation, but now we are very much standing on our own 2 feet with very, very exciting things planned. Lots and lots of developments coming up for Azamara in the sort of coming years. So definitely watch this space. Be coming back to these YouTube channels, because I will be around giving updates and letting you know what exciting things we have got planned. But let me tell you really a little bit more about who we are and what we do at the moment. So we are a premium luxury cruise line, and we operate boutique style of ships. And here they are. Here is our beautiful fleet. We have a fleet of 4 ships. And you might notice something when you look at the image. They are all sisters, almost identical. Now, there are a couple of very slight differences between ship to ship, but they're very subtle. Often it is just sort of decor and soft furnishings, but otherwise they are sister ships. And that's great for you, because if you've travelled with us as an Azamara guest and you've been on one of our ships, then you're going to be familiar with all of them. And also you're going to feel very much at home when you step on board one of our other fleet of ships. So here they are. We have Azamara Quest, Azamara Journey, Azamara Pursuit, and most recently joining us is Azamara Onward. And our ships are boutique, as I said. They're small in size. They are just 30,000 tonnes, and they take around 650 guests. Now, if you looked at our website or you flick through one of our brochures, you'll see it says we take around 700 guests, but actually we're normally sailing at around 650, and that's because we're not having every single one of our beds on the ship full. A lot of our staterooms will take sort of 3, maybe 3 guests, but generally we find that with Azamara it's mainly couples sailing with us and solo travellers as well. So generally those 3 berth cabins aren't being used, so that's why we're sitting nice and comfortably at 650. And it's just such a lovely, intimate number of people, a great place if you want to make friends, you want to get to know your fellow travellers. And with Azamara, it's very much about coming home. Now, let me just show you a short video to bring the brand to life, and then I will be popping back in a couple of moments to tell you a little bit more.
Pushed beyond the obvious, and perspective is open to change. When you see parts unknown in ports less known, unwind, stay the night, and just slow down. Wander, but never wonder what a place is really like. The difference is night and day. Azamara, change the way you see.
So we are experts in destination immersion, so much so we've actually trademarked the term. And the reason we are experts is we have more overnight stays in port and more longer stays in port than any other cruise line by far. And it's very typical when you look at this image here of our ship docked at night, and so rarely do you see images of ships docked at night, but with us, when you sail with Azamara, that's what you're going to experience. And as we know, a lot of these wonderful ports of call really do come alive after dark. So it just gives you a great opportunity to connect a little bit more to the places that you're visiting and really go and experience them in depth rather than just sailing in early morning and sailing out mid-afternoon. You really will get to experience every place that you're visiting. And also, because our ships are that little bit smaller, they can get into those ports of can't. So we do have some incredible immersive itineraries, and I'm going to talk about some of the destinations we visit in a few minutes. Now, we want our guests to be relaxed and not rushed, and that is very much a theme with us at Azamara. Now, not only are we offering those longer stays and reaching those sort of ports of call that certainly those big ships can't, you'll often find that we're docked in prime position because we're small. So I'll give you an example, somewhere like Seville. So with Seville, I've been to Seville many times, and often on the bigger ships, you are docking in somewhere like Cadiz, and you've got a long shuttle service into Seville itself, and that's eating into your day sightseeing and exploring. However, with Azamara, we actually sail up the river. It takes around 7 hours from open sea to reach Seville. And then we dock just outside the Maria Luisa Park. And if you're familiar with Seville, that's very close to the Plaza de España. So you're right there, right in the heart, and you can go and have a wonderful day. And generally, that is a port of call where we often stay overnight as well. So you get 2 fantastic days exploring that really beautiful city. And that's just one example. You'll also find our ships at those sort of worldwide events. So if you've always fancied going to the Monaco Grand Prix or the Rio Carnival, then you will find an Azamara ship will be there at that time of year, and we can provide tickets to those events as well. So if you've got one of those on your list, something you've always wanted to do get in touch with Lincolnshire Co-op and they can have a look at that for you and see if they can make those dreams a reality. Now, I mentioned before, we are a boutique hotel at sea. We do have that very intimate home from home style of atmosphere. You will have noticed at the start I said we are premium luxury, and I think sometimes people think luxury comes with sort of an air of formality and maybe it's very stuffy, but that is not the case with Azamara. When you step on board with us, you really do feel like you're coming home. We have a very relaxed ambience on board. Our crew are incredibly welcoming and friendly. And actually, most of our guests come back for our crew. They always say how fantastic they are. Many of the crew have worked with us for many, many years. So that's something that's really special to us and very much at the heart of what we do. And then we also want to connect our guests with the culture of the destination, because we want to immerse them. I'm going to use that term quite a lot. We want to immerse you in the destinations. We also want to connect you fully to the places that you're visiting, because that's why you're cruising with Azamara. You are people who love to travel. You're not necessarily just looking for a cruise holiday. You do very much want to connect to the places that you're visiting. So we offer complimentary events. I'm going to come to that again in a moment. We really do focus very much on planning our itineraries so you're getting the most of the destinations. We have very authentic and curated shore excursions. So if you take an excursion with us, we'll really will take you off to see the best of the places that you're visiting. We do a whole host of pre and post land tours, and I will touch on those when we talk about itineraries. And then, as you would expect, we have first-class tour guides and sort of directors to help you get the most from your Azamara cruise. But not only that, we also connect you with the culture on board as well. And we'll often have entertainment coming on from ashore, something very maybe specific to the destination that you're visiting, even down to the dining with themed nights, really taking in every place that you're getting to enjoy on your voyage with us. Now, we are an inclusive cruise line, so when you sail with us, you're going to find that there is no need for tipping. All of your gratuities are included, though we often find a lot of our guests do like to tip extra as well, but there is no need. We also include a standard drinks package for you, and that's going to include your wines, standard spirits, a selection of cocktails, also beers and ciders, and then you'll have things like your bottled water, both still and sparkling, soft drinks and specialty teas and coffees, which is definitely my favourite inclusion. And if we have to provide a shuttle service, which we try not to do too often, then it's always going to be included in the price for you. Now, if you decide to choose a suite with us, then the suites are going to come with some added extras as well. So your suite is instantly going to come with a butler who is going to look after your every need. But don't worry, if you don't like that idea, and us British, we're a little bit funny about butlers, don't worry, they're just at the end of the telephone if you do need them to assist you with anything. But your butler will unpack your case. They will lay out a beautiful stateroom afternoon tea on your veranda, and they'll be there to arrange concierge services, maybe book a complimentary dining experience in one of our specialty dining venues. So they're there really for as much or as little as you would like them for. But as I said, our suite guests do have complimentary specialty dining. You get complimentary internet minutes, complimentary laundry. You get that wonderful in-suite afternoon tea, and there is nothing better than sitting out on your veranda with a fabulous view, taking in your afternoon tea. I'm also going to spoil you and give you an extra $300 onboard spending money, so you can really go and treat yourselves to something special. And let me introduce you to our staterooms, because they are beautifully appointed, very elegant, and are going to give you a very comfortable cruise holiday with us. Now, we actually have our images here starting at Club Veranda, which is our veranda staterooms. We do have interior and ocean view staterooms if you are a little bit more sort of on a budget, and they are still beautifully appointed. Actually, they're both very similar in decor to the Club Veranda you can see in front of you, just no balcony, of course. But all of our staterooms come with, as you would imagine, ensuite, lots of facilities, and depending on which stateroom category you choose, you'll have additional benefits. So you can see a lot of the suite images here, something like the Club Spa Suite, for example. We deliver healthy snacks throughout the day. It's located very close to the spa, so perfect for access to the spa. But you might notice that from the image, there's a few naughty treats there. You can have a range of bottled spirits in your stateroom as well, and that stateroom comes with a rain shower and also a wonderful sort of jacuzzi hot tub for you to look out whilst you're enjoying the views. But don't worry, you can see out, but nobody can see in. So we do have a beautiful range of suites. I definitely recommend that you have a chat with the team at Lincolnshire Co-op, and they will certainly look at what's going to fit your needs the most. But whichever you choose, you're not going to be disappointed. And then let's introduce you to some of the areas on the ship. Now, I'm being a little bit naughty this time because this is my favourite venue on board Azamara ships, and that is the Mosaic Cafe. For me, there is nothing better than sitting there. It's right at the top of our grand staircase, and it's a great place to get a latte. It's my latte there. Actually, it was my latte. This is a photo of it that I took when I was on board a few weeks ago. So I'm enjoying my latte, watching the world go by, and it really is a wonderful place. Now, in the evening, it does convert into another sort of bar venue, so you can go and get your cocktails or your gin and tonic in there, and you'll often find that we do have some live music. We had a guitarist in the afternoon, so it really is a beautiful place, very elegant, but perfect to just people watch. And then one of my other favourite venues on board is the living room. And the living room is a bit of a multi-function venue because it's located above the bridge. It's got wonderful floor-to-ceiling windows. So if you fancy just sitting there and reading a book, maybe it's a sea day. We don't have a lot of those on an Azamara cruise, but there are one or two. So it's great for you to relax and take in the views. But then as we go through the day, we have an afternoon tea service in the living room. We also serve a tapas service at 5 o'clock. So if you've missed lunch or you've missed afternoon tea, or you just fancy a little bit of an extra snack, and you can go to the living room for tapas in the afternoons. And then in the evening, it does become quite a lively venue. Post dinner, we generally have a live band in there, and they'll play, get you up dancing if you, if you feel like it. And then as the evening progresses, the DJ comes on, and you can really dance the night away if you so choose in the living room. But it is a wonderful venue, and definitely one that our guests enjoy. Here is an image of our grand staircase, just to give you an idea. Very elegant. It changes slightly depending on which ship you're in, depending on what the layout is, but it's always a popular place for photos when you're on board an Azamara cruise. On to dining. We know dining is incredibly important on any cruise holiday, and our dining really is quite exquisite. It is exceptional quality. Now, in the main dining room, we operate on an open seating. You can go in anytime from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. and choose your table size. So if you'd like a table for 2 or a 6 or an 8, of course. What we tend to find with Azamara, though, is because it's so friendly and welcoming, you tend to start your cruise wanting a table for 2, and then before you know it, you've met people, made friends, and suddenly that table for 2 becomes a table for 6 and a table for 8, and so we go on. But it is nice and sort of relaxing if you don't have that formality of set dining times. Also, we have no formal dress codes when you sail with us. It's more of a resort casual. People will dress for dinner, but you don't need to bring your tuxedos and your ball gowns at all, so you can be nice and relaxed on your cruise. And you might choose to have a drink before you go into Discovery's restaurant in the Discovery's bar. It's a lovely venue for pre-dinner drinks. We have 2 speciality dining venues on board, Prime Sea and Aquilina. The cover charge, if you're not one of our suite guests, is $35 per person, but is absolutely worth every penny. Prime Sea, you'll get wonderful steaks and lobster, and it really is a beautiful venue. Great if you're celebrating something special. And then Aquilina is our Italian flair Mediterranean restaurant. Both a la carte and really both exceptional quality dining. We do have a lovely cafe called Windows Cafe. No images to show you, but it's our buffet restaurant, and it's got a wonderful alfresco section right at the back where you can enjoy your lunch or your breakfast overlooking whatever wonderful port of call you're visiting. And one of my favourite venues for dining is actually the patio. The patio is located quite close to the pool, so in the daytime you'll get a choice of burgers and hot dogs. There's a beautiful salad bar to enjoy, and then as you go through the day, it also then becomes waiter service. You've got a menu choice, but it gives you alfresco dining. It's completely complimentary, and it's just a nice alternative maybe to the main restaurant if you're looking for something maybe a little bit more casual for a dining option in the evening. And as I said, you often get the wonderful views of whatever place we are docked in. Moving on to just a couple of the other venues, we have the Den. The Den, you'll find things like our shore excursion desk. Now, we don't include our shore excursions in the price, and the reason for that is, if you remember at the start, I said we are for people who love to travel, and what we find is so many of our guests actually want to go and do their own thing. They want to go and explore independently, so we don't want to include shore excursions that ultimately they would be paying within the holiday price. So, but they are very reasonably priced, and there's a budget for everybody. So we have our shore excursion desk down there, but it's also a fantastic bar venue. We often have a live pianist who'll be playing the sort of music that you can sing along to, and it's a great place to go for pre-show drinks because it leads in to our show lounge, and we have shows every night, and depending on where we are in the world, they may be themed to the destination. We have a wonderful show team who are going to put on some fabulous shows for you. Definitely one to sit back and enjoy. And then we have our As Amazing Evenings. We've actually just rebranded them only in the last couple of days to As Amazing Celebrations, and we're celebrating 10 years of these, and they are complimentary and exclusive to Azamara guests. We've actually trademarked the term, and what we do is we take all of our guests to something unique, to something that you couldn't get a ticket for. Nobody else, unless they're an Azamara guest, could come along and enjoy the event. It is completely exclusive and bespoke to Azamara. Now, the image you can see in front of you, we were in Kopier in Slovenia. We actually took over the whole market square. Nobody else had access, and we had an operatic performance. Now, that would be there, something like that in that port of call. Going back to Seville, I mentioned before, Seville is synonymous with flamenco, so you would go and enjoy a flamenco performance. Or in Italy, it might be something like a 3 tenors performance, but it'll always be very much curated to the destination that you're visiting, and it's something that our guests thoroughly enjoy, and it's a very, very special evening or daytime event on Azamara. So where can you sail with us? Well, we really do sail the world. We're actually on sale right the way through until 2025, June 2025, if you want to plan ahead. But we do still have availability for this year, 2023 and 2024. And just some of the destinations that we visit, we tend to chase the sun. So you'll see in the summer, we're often in the Mediterranean and Northern Europe. And then in the winter, we start moving the ships back into the warmer weather. So you'll see that we'll move through to the likes of Dubai. We have some nice spice route cruises. We'll go down to Australia and New Zealand. So if you really want to experience those destinations, you can do. And then you'll find that we'll go down to the Caribbean. We do South Africa. We also do South America, touching on Antarctica. So we really do have a whole host of destinations for you to explore with us. Something that we also do is our country intensive voyages, and we do these all around the world. So if you really want to get to know a particular country, not just sailing maybe for one day, then do join us on a country intensive voyage. We have these all over the world, and I've just picked a couple out for you for today. One of our most popular here in the UK is our Croatian intensive. It's a 7-night cruise calling in at some of the best ports of call in Croatia. It starts and ends in Venice, so you have the opportunity of that as well. You can maybe stay a night in Venice, either pre-cruise or post-cruise should you wish. It also calls in at Kotor in Montenegro, so it really is a wonderful cruise. We do it several times throughout the year, mainly through the summer months, and it is incredibly popular with British guests. Another really popular intensive is our Greek intensive voyage. I mean, who can resist Santorini and Mykonos going into Athens? It really is a popular sailing. But again, you're really getting to see the heart of the Greek islands in this instance. But we do these country intensive voyages, as I mentioned, all over the world. We have South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, South America. We also do an incredible 15-night Japan intensive, which is going to take you circumnavigating around to Japan. One of our ships has recently been there, and the images of Mount Fuji that our guests have been taking really is incredible. It would be one of those sort of lifetime voyages that I know that you would enjoy. So do look out for our country intensive voyages. If you've got somewhere on your list that you desperately want to go and really get to know, really get to the heart of, then have a chat with the team at Lincolnshire Co-op and they will certainly point you in the right direction. So that's really it from me today. I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight into Azamara, who we are, what we do and where we go. There is lots more to discover, so have a chat with the team at Lincolnshire Co-op and they would be more than happy to help you. Thank you.
Thanks, Moira. Your ships always look absolutely fantastic. Monaco on one of your ships for the Formula One, that's my bucket list.
Yes, one day. Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to do it.
Hey, you never know, I might be allowed. Right, I'm going to share my screen again quickly because we've had a few questions come in. There we go. So we shall start in no particular order. Are excursions included from Paul in Louth?
So as I mentioned, we don't include our excursions, and only because so many of our guests like to do their own thing. They want to go and explore, they want to go and experience a destination. They don't necessarily want to be tied to our shore excursions, because if we include them, you're paying for them somewhere, you're paying for them within the cost of your holiday somewhere or another. We don't think that's fair, so we'd rather keep our cruise cost a little bit lower, and then the excursions become a sort of an added extra if you want them.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I get that completely. So from Marie and Market Raisin, I want to cruise on my own. What do you offer for single travellers?
Well, firstly, we have those sort of small intimate ships. So we find we have a lot of solo travellers cruising with us because they know that they can make friends if they want to. We have a range of cruises with special offers where you don't have huge single supplements, so do look out for those. The guys that you guys can certainly point guests in the right direction for where our best solo offers are. And then of course we look after our solos with events and get-togethers, so we really do give guests the chance to mingle, make friends and get to know one another. So they might start their cruise as a solo, but they probably won't end the cruise on their own. They'll definitely make friends.
Oh, fantastic. I love stories like that. Right, so do you offer a drinks package from Karen in Boston?
So we have our standard drinks included, but for guests who maybe want something a little bit extra, maybe they want to drink champagne or cruise, then we can give them opportunities to upgrade drinks packages. We have 2 other packages available other than the standard offering. There's a premium drinks package, and then there's also an ultimate drinks package. So if you want to drink, I don't know, Tanqueray gin, all cruise, or champagne or cruise, as I mentioned, then it's worth upgrading.
Fantastic. That's definitely worth knowing. And yeah, last but not least, how much time do I get ashore? From James in Laceby.
Quite a lot with Azamara, because that's really what we do. So those sort of longer stays in port, more overnight stays in port, you'll often find on a cruise you can spend sort of 2 days in a destination, particularly those sort of big, you know, well-known ports of call, you know, places like Barcelona and Venice and Seville, just naming ones in the Med, will often stay overnight. So it will give you 2 full days. And then even when we're not there overnight, you'll often find that you'll arrive early in the morning and late in the evening. So you really do get lots and lots of time to explore. That's another reason why guests don't always want to do our shore excursions, because they want to go off and, you know, have a full day somewhere, which of course they can do.
It's nice because you do find sometimes you can be a bit rushed on shore, so to have that extra time certainly is a nice little perk. Right, so all that's left from me is to say thank you for joining us. If you do have any questions, please email travel@lincolnshire.coop. And if you do want the chance to win that £50 voucher, comment on the video below, and we'll randomly pick the winner by the 5th of June. Thank you, Moira. It's lovely to see you again. I'll see you again soon.
See you soon.